Howdy everybody. I'm heading up here to check on the sheepies. It's been very hot and I'd like to check on them mid-morning to make sure they have enough water. We keep them down below at night. This morning I woke up and they somehow had escaped. I still haven't figured out how they did that, and we're roaming around. So I had to run and get out there. Oh, they're not in the pen area here. This has been a very hard year for the sheepies. It's been very dry, extremely hot, and as you can see, there isn't much for them to eat here. Here they are. This is something that happens when sheep don't have enough grazing. They start eating the bark on the tree. You can see what they're doing here. So hopefully we can get some rain. Hi, Junior. Hi, Junior. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Tommy is still a little skittish. Hey, Tommy. So I got some disturbing news last week. I watched some other YouTube channels, and two of them, Jason Contreras over at Sow the Land and Morgan Gold at Goldshaw Farm, had experienced deaths. Jason at Sow the Land had gotten 4 sheep last week, and they weren't even with him 24 hours before 2 of them had died unexpectedly. And Morgan has a small cattle operation that he's trying to grow, and this was his first year of real serious calving, and 2 of his newborns died mysteriously. Hi, Junior. Junior loves the camera. Both of them were really devastated by this, and I felt really bad for them. Lena and I went through something similar. We didn't make a video about it because we just didn't think it was appropriate at the time, but now there's been some distance and it's okay now within this context. Tommy over there, right here, when Tommy was born about 2 years ago, he had a sister who's no longer with us. Her name was Tammy, and she was smaller than Tommy when they were born, and she didn't survive. She lasted 4 or 5 days and then just died. Kathy had a sister called Ellen who was with us when we first got the sheep. We got 2 female sheep. Both of them were pregnant at the time. Kathy had Sammy here. Sammy's the white one, the big white one here. He's part Dorper and part Katahdin. Ellen had a little boy that we called Jimmy, and Jimmy didn't survive either. He lasted a few days. We rushed him to the vet, but no avail, he died. And not only did Jimmy die, but apparently there was a complication with the pregnancy, and Ellen eventually died too. The man who sold us the sheep was a veterinarian, and he took Ellen back, and as he was taking her back, she died. So we were absolutely crushed by that. And of course, we asked ourselves, what did we do wrong? Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And I'm sure that Jason had similar thoughts when less than 24 hours, 2 of his sheep died. These were the equivalent of teenagers, the sheep that he had. And Morgan, who had been fortunate up to this point with his cattle, had 2 of his small baby calves die. Not at the same time, one right after the other though. And so when things like this happen, kind of the natural tendency for us as humans is to try to think of a reason, to try to understand why it happened, because we don't want it to happen again. It's natural for us to try to understand why it happened, but there's a phenomenon called failure to thrive. And this happens even with some human infants. It's something that happens in the animal kingdom, of which human beings are part of it, so it shouldn't be surprising that it happens with us. But failure to thrive is simply an explanation that veterinary medicine gives for animals who die unexpectedly for no apparent reason. And this is true with human babies as well. So failure to thrive is something that we don't understand, but it also is something that we need to accept. Some animals simply fail to thrive, and we don't know why. It just happens. obviously we're going to try to see if there's anything that we did that could have caused it. But when we don't see that anymore, we have to move on and accept the fact that sometimes things like this just happen. I'll put the links to the videos for both Morgan and Jason down in the description, so you can watch those videos if you want to. But in the case of Jason, his sheep were with him for less than 24 hours. And he woke up in the morning excited and found 2 of them dead, caught up in the electric net. It's very easy to say that the electric net killed them. They got caught in the net. I don't believe that's what happened at all. In the case of Jason, this was another example of failure to thrive. In this case, it was young adults failing to thrive in a new situation. They probably at nighttime panicked. There was no evidence that they were attacked or anything, but they probably panicked, ran into the net, got caught in it, and panicked even more, and that did it. In the case of Morgan, his 2 calves dying were very similar to our 2 baby sheep dying. It was just failure to thrive. So with that, I'll sign off. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.